From the unimaginable success of the third installment to the potential storyline for a fourth part, here's all you need to know about Guardians of the Galaxy 4. Let's kick this off with the success of the third part. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 hit theaters in May 2023, and it made some big waves in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, it's raked in a whopping $282 million at the global box office. Talk about a solid start, right? But wait, there's more. Not only is it bringing in the big bucks, but it's also receiving heaps of praise from critics. It's currently rocking an impressive 81% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's definitely something to celebrate. It seems like the film has struck the right chords with audiences and critics alike, delivering that signature blend of action, humor, and heart that the Guardians franchise is known for. Now, with the overwhelming success and positive reception of Guardians 3, it's only natural for fans to start speculating about the possibility of a fourth installment. And you know what? It's looking pretty promising. The studio must be taking notice of the film's triumph and the fans' excitement surrounding the cosmic misfits. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, but given the fantastic performance of the third movie, it wouldn't be surprising if we had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 in the works. After all, Marvel Studios has a knack for keeping the momentum going when they strike gold, and it seems like they have another winning formula on their hands with the Guardians. Now, let's talk about whether we'll have a fourth part or not. So, have you heard the latest scoop from The Hollywood Reporter? It seems like James Gunn, the genius behind the awesome Guardians of the Galaxy movies, is actually considering passing the torch to a new writer and director for any future additions to the franchise. But here's the thing, not all the cast members are sold on the idea of continuing the Guardians story without Gunn's magic touch. They have their doubts, you know? And you can imagine how the fans are reacting to this news. They're going crazy speculating about what could happen in a fourth Guardians movie. I mean, we've grown so attached to Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Rocket, and Groot, right? We want to know what's in store for them. So naturally, people are buzzing with all sorts of theories and predictions about the direction the franchise might take, but here's a juicy tidbit. During a super interesting interview on the Hero Nation podcast in January 2022, Gunn spilled the beans about the future of the Guardians. Now brace yourself, because the current gang of Guardians won't be making a comeback in future movies. I know it's a bummer, but hold on. There's a silver lining. Gunn revealed that a brand new team of Guardians was introduced in the mid-credits scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. How awesome is that? We might get to meet a fresh bunch of cosmic heroes. So who's on this new team, you ask? Get ready for some excitement. Rocket Raccoon, the adorable Groot, Kraglin, the mysterious Cosmo the Space Dog, the powerful Adam Warlock, and the formidable Phyla Vell are all part of this fresh lineup. Now we'll have to wait for more news and updates to see how things unfold. Will this new gang of Guardians step up to make the lead and continue our cosmic escapades? Change can be both nerve-wracking and thrilling, but it also brings fresh perspectives and opens up exciting storytelling possibilities. So while we speculate and chat endlessly about what's in store, one thing's for sure. The cosmic saga of the Guardians of the Galaxy is far from over, and we're in for some intergalactic tales that will keep us on the edge of our seats. So now that's sorted, what do we know about a potential release date if it happens? Well, as I mentioned earlier, there hasn't been any official confirmation regarding Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 just yet. So as of now, we don't have an official release date to mark on our calendars. It's a waiting game for fans who are eagerly anticipating the next adventure. And even if Marvel decides to greenlight the fourth installment, it's important to remember that the process of bringing a film like this to life takes time. There are various stages involved, from script development to casting, production design, visual effects, and more. So even after the green light, it's likely to be a considerable amount of time before we get to witness Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 on the big screen. To give you an idea, let's look at the release history of the previous Guardians films. The original Guardians of the Galaxy movie was released in 2014, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in 2017. As you can see, there was already a 3-year gap between those two films, And if we consider the time span between Volume 2 and the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, it's even longer at 6 years. Although it is worth noting that the extended gap between Volume 2 and Volume 3 was partly due to production delays caused by the impact of the coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic affected numerous film productions and release schedules, leading to postponements. So this factor also contributed to the long wait for the third installment. Given the historical context and the complexity of creating a film on the scale of Guardians of the Galaxy, it's reasonable to expect that the pre-production stage alone could take a year or more to complete. After all, Marvel Studios is known for meticulous planning and delivering high-quality films, and rushing the process is unlikely to be in their playbook, especially for a big franchise like this. But while fans are super amped at the possibility of a fourth part, there are also tons of theories as to why it's not really needed. Now, as much as we'd all love to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 happen, the team doesn't necessarily need another solo film to continue their awesomeness in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, think about it. The ending of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was super epic and jam-packed with surprises, so it wouldn't be fair to rush into a sequel just for the sake of keeping the momentum going. Instead, it'd be way cooler to see the new Guardians team popping up in other MCU films and shows. Like, they could team up with other beloved heroes and have their cosmic adventures cross over with the larger universe. How awesome would it be to see Rocket and the gang joining forces with the Avengers in flicks like Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars? I can already picture the banter and action-packed scenes. Now, we don't have this inside scoop on where exactly they'll show up next, but it's definitely fun to speculate. Marvel Studios is known for keeping us on our toes after all. They've got so many projects in the works, from familiar franchises to exciting new ones. Even though they haven't spilled the beans on Phase 7 yet, it wouldn't surprise me if Kevin Feige, the mastermind behind it all, has plans already brewing. That means the wait for another Guardians of the Galaxy film might be a bit longer than we'd think. Heck, Feige might even have some surprises in store for us in Phases 8 and 9. It's crazy to think about all the awesomeness they have planned, but then if a fourth part happens, what could it be about? Now, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we witness some major changes within the team. Star-Lord decides to return to Earth while Mantis embarks on her own adventure. This leaves Rocket as the new leader of the Guardians, which is quite a shift in dynamics. Meanwhile, Nebula and Drax remain in nowhere, taking charge of the city. But here's where things get really interesting. I mean, I've already hinted at how we get a glimpse of Rocket's new team that he's been busy assembling in the mid-credits scene of Volume 3. Plus, we've also seen various iterations of the team in the comics. So a new team is definitely the direction we're heading in. That said, it remains to be seen if this particular iteration of the Guardians is large enough to carry its own standalone movie, because right now, the more likely scenario is that we'll see them make appearances in the big Avengers double bill that will wrap up the multiverse saga. Imagine the epicness of the Guardians teaming up with Earth's mightiest heroes for a cosmic showdown. Now, keep in mind that plans can always change in the vast landscape of the MCU. As fans, we're constantly speculating and trying to piece together the puzzle of what's next. Marvel Studios has a knack for surprising us and taking unexpected paths. So we'll have to wait and stay tuned for official announcements and developments. And there you have it. From the potential storyline for a fourth part to the unimaginable success of the third installment, that was all you needed to know about Guardians of the Galaxy 4.